Today we are very fortunate to have three very qualified and experienced speakers. Even Mr. Tiosalam has himself, although he's in politics, not understood that he started his career in entrepreneurship. Yeah, so all of them will have a lot of stories to tell and to share, but perhaps let's just begin with what probably is most important, the question of all, why entrepreneurship?
Why entrepreneurship? Okay, I think I actually have a lot of things in common with you guys. I studied business in Sydney. I also did a law degree. And after I graduated, I always wondered, should I start my business or should I enter into a private sector? I've always been an entrepreneur from the start. One thing I liked about it is you have that sense of independence and freedom. And you were able to be very creative and turn that creativity into profits. My family background was such that I was geared towards small businesses. My parents owned a printing shop in Sydney. And I, from a very young age, of about 8 years old, I was collating and stapling leaflets. I think that's highly illegal, actually. And I saw how blood and sweat and tears can actually lead to some very great results. My parents were able to come out from nothing. My dad was a labourer, believe it or not, and turned into a journalist and migrated from Singapore to Australia. And my mom was also a journalist, but with this business, they were able to send me to private school and basically give me a future that they couldn't have. Now, I think just I want to let everyone introduce themselves. To cut it short, the reason why I went into entrepreneurship is I had that entrepreneurial spirit always in me. From high school, I thought of ways to make money out of my friends. For example, in high school, the Coke vending machine was very far from the basketball court. So on Saturday basketball days, I would buy in bulk Coke and sell it to the basketball team at a profit. Then in university, I did a summer exchange in Beijing Law School. And while I was at Tiananmen Square, I saw that people were selling kites. I wanted to buy a kite for my cousin. And then in that negotiation, with the kite salesman, I realized that if I bought 5 or 10, I could reduce the price of my kite. And then it reached the stage where, geez, I started with 1 kite, how about 20 RMBs? And if I go for 10 kites, how much would you sell it for me, to me for? And eventually I was able to work down the price, and I bought about 50 kites from this poor lady. She had to go back to a warehouse, pick them up, and meet me that same hour. And then I just went to the other corner of Tiananmen Square to fly a kite and sell kites, basically competing with her. My little niche was I spoke fluent English, so I was able to relate to tourists. And I thought I'd completely pee her off, but at the end she came up, shook my hand, and said, congratulations, that was really good what you did. I'll pass it on to everyone else.
Okay, my name is Edward. I've co-founded this brand called Timber. Most people would think Timber as a live music bar venue, but actually it was founded upon a social mission, a social mission to promote Singapore music and to develop the Singapore music scene. So fast forward to today, we are a group that has businesses in food and beverage, we have businesses in festivals, and also an academy. And music being the thing that binds everything together. So we have live music bars, we have 2 festivals, we have a beer festival, we have a music festival and a music school. Why entrepreneurship? I think I never really regarded entrepreneurship as an occupation. It was really down to a very simple thing. I had an idea. I really wanted to do something for society. I found there was a lack back then that opportunities for musicians, Singapore talents to perform and to shine. So I thought that was a gap that maybe I could fulfill. Started as a non-profit organization, never really intended to make money out of it. Eventually found that running a non-profit organization has its own limitations as well. And we felt that at some point we turned it into a full-profit enterprise. We created the brand Timber. But today it's really still the social mission that drives us. But we are commercially viable, so we kind of scale things up and we can actually do a lot more for the social objective that we were founded upon. So today it really still is the social objective. But of course, we must make money, we must grow, so that we can amplify the social objective. Yeah, thanks.
You also come from a family background that in entrepreneurship.
Yeah, I think my father has always been, he was not educated, he only had up to primary 6 education. So back then, really with primary 6 education, you really are forced to being an entrepreneur, isn't it? Because no one is going to hire you with just a primary 6 education. So he and his brother started a business, and that's how he got by and make a living.
Okay, I'm no longer an entrepreneur, but I hope that I can be an entrepreneur within the government. My own interest really started when I was living in Hougang. I don't know how many of you would know Hougang, and probably Singaporeans would probably know. Hougang, that at the time I lived in a rented shop house. It's still there. It's one of those conserved. And the rented shop house is upstairs. Downstairs is just a shop house where we call mama shops today, right? It's not owned by my family or our sorts. We were 4 of us, rented a room, we all squeezed inside. That was the condition of family, so it's pretty humble beginnings. And what happened was every day I'll buy something from I just look at the uncles there and selling things, and retail was my first knowledge of a business, and I was very fascinated by the pulley system where they pull down the tin can and then make the change and all that. That tin can fascinates me from a very young age, 2-3 years old. So that was then at that point in time. I thought that's interesting, and one day I want to own my own shop and try to do something like this. So it's very pure and simple. But as I age and I go into schools, it become a different type of motivation. I wanted to own something. I began to understand about business a bit more. I want to own something. I tell myself my interest would be, study a subject that I believe would bring me lots of wealth and have something that I can call my own my asset, own my business. That was that motivation. So I went into commerce stream. I'm not sure if there's still commerce stream or not in the JC. And my first venture was in the university when I was at NTU studying accountancy. So everything I got to do then was really through business oriented. And at that time it was just pure, very simple trading where I make all the losses anyway. I lose all my money. No debt. I managed to clear up and some break-evens. So it was a good experience. And I think later on I really started to work. I worked for one of the big 6. That time 6 was now big 4. And that was because accountancy, so just get a stable job. And on the side, I did different things. And basically, I would say that different investments over the years, including drawing all my salaries and all until I think this story I told again, but I'll just share. Throw so much money into different ventures that my HDB flat was paid by my wife. I had no money, I had $2,000 in the bank account. And there's more than 10 over ventures, all failed except 2 who became global companies where I'm the largest shareholder, but today I'm not, I cash out. So, but I continue working for corporations and all that. There are always rules in corporates, You don't own more than 3% and all that. So before you join any corporates, you better own up to your bosses if you want. So I open up quite a bit and tell them I got shareholdings here and there. So that's how. Then you just roll. You just roll your investments, and today I still continue to roll. But I don't really have time. My bosses now are all of you Singaporeans. So from wanting to be my own boss, you all become my boss. So I have bankers who help me, but just investments and all. I still do seed funding, but a lot less than before because it gets complicated when you do it being in politics and trying to do it. So I kept it very clear, especially right now when I'm in MDI and also chairman of ACE. It's best to keep it very clear. So today, what I'm sharing with you are experience from the past, and hopefully can inspire and motivate some of you to actually step forward. It is a great journey. It is a great journey. I think it's the coolest thing ever to actually tell your friends that I own that, I own this, I have my own business, set it up, you know, like you can talk about soya too and all the products, you know, that I actually own it. I think that's the coolest thing ever. Yeah.